Hello, everyone. I'm here with Dr. Gail, Skywalking with Moon. Yay, Galactic Conversations. That's what we're here to talk about. And thanks for joining me, Dr. Gail. It's always a pleasure to have you here on my channel.
It's always fun when we get together.
So we have, it's my pleasure. So we have a plethora of things to talk about, galactic things that I think all of the people in the chat would be interested in. And I just want to say hi to Amanda Carroll, Mary Starshine, Anya, Mangled Unicorn, and I know the notice has just gone out, so hopefully more people will join. So in this show today, we're going to talk about a lot of things, but one of the things,
a lot of things backstage.
We talked about a lot of things, and one of the conversations is going to be about the new role of light workers, why we're stepping into these ambassador roles between Earth and the greater galactic community, how this is evolving, what this looks like now, and how Dr. Gail has been doing this for paving the way, paving the foundation. But I myself have people that I know, that I channel for, that have these experiences, and they are some of the new people coming online to do this ambassadorship, this connection to pave the way. But there are the people like Dr. Gail who have been out there from the beginning, really anchoring in this information. And Dr. Gail, can you talk a little bit about that? Being that ambassador, being you're more than that, but I mean, that's.
Yeah, well, I've been fortunate enough to know what I was doing, where a lot of people are just now finding out what their role, what the role is now. And for me, it was a struggle because I was not really accepted in the community, the metaphysical community, because people were not embracing extraterrestrials or aliens, and most of the time it's out of fear. But you know, if you're a medium or a card reader or whatever, it was easy for you to skip over that and just stick to connecting with the loved ones, doing Akashic records, throwing cards, and just talking to angels and people who passed, and you talk about your past human lifetimes. And so it was easy to stay in that corner. And whenever they would venture or be exposed to an alien or extraterrestrial, even Mary, who has been with the journey for me from the very beginning, struggled with it. Anytime she had a client that had any exposure to that, she would send it immediately to me. She didn't want to deal with it. It was like,
it strikes fear into some people's hearts because it's the unknown.
Right. So now she's all in it. So
it's the unknown. And then you hear these darker stories of people who've been abducted and so forth and so on.
Right.
But, you know, that's not been my experience. And just for everybody out there who may not know, you've had these experiences, but they're with your cooperation.
Right. Yes. They asked me if I'd work with them, and I said yes. And also that did happen to Mary too. She remembers vividly about when they directly asked her if they would work with her. In fact, after she said yes, she called me going, "Did I do the right thing?" She did the right thing. It's gonna be.
So there's even some trepidation there, but it's a leap. It's a leap of faith and a leap of knowing it's your divine plan path, and you're meant to carry forward with this. There has to be a bridge, and you've been bridging this for humanity for many years now.
5 years now, and they called me. The extraterrestrials call me the communicator. That's the label they give me. So I communicating from them to all the different dimensions and things that are in the different dimensions to people here on Earth. I mean, because I do, see the angels and our archangels and our, a medium where I can see the, your loved ones. And so the elementals, all these different things I've been exposed to, so I can communicate with all of them. And right now I have just switched. They've asked me to switch my title as a psychic medium that specializes in alien contact. So that's
I love that. I'm getting the chills because I think that more clearly defines your role, but it also helps people bridge that gap. They can understand what you're doing, and with that, it helps at the interface.
It doesn't. Yeah. Where was that name in the beginning? Because they gave me a Starseed healer in the beginning, and so it was just a few weeks ago. And in fact, I know why they gave it to me just now, because I'm writing my book and I'm getting really close to it being published. And in there, you having to say what you do. And that they gave me that right before I was actually after I had it from the editor, and it came back. And then the person who puts the book together, they gave me that name right before I sent it to him so I could change it. And I was like, where has that been?
That makes sense. That I like that a lot, because it really tells what you do, and in a broader sense, so people can understand it without having to know too much.
Right. Well, on my channel right now is like Starseed healer, medium, channeler.
It's like you name it, I do it. It's like plethora.
Exactly.
You needed something a little more comprehensive, but that still doesn't hit it all. But that's an understandable title for what you do, because it's kind of everything. But in terms of people stepping into these roles, and why this is happening now, there are so many people. You mentioned backstage that you saw that there were Lyrans sitting beside tell us about that.
A year and a half ago, and I know the people that have been in my chat already know this, but a year and a half ago, it was almost like a march. An army of Lyrans came in and were sitting beside every light worker, assisting them to the next level. And I know that makes a lot of people uncomfortable to know that there's an alien or extraterrestrial that's sitting next to them. But they came in about a year and a half ago and are sitting next to everyone, helping them go to the next level. And the Lyrans are quiet. You usually don't hear much from them. The communications, you don't really have a lot of.
Yeah, they don't even come up in my meditation. But then neither did the serious beings who are bringing in things. So, it's funny. You find out you're connected and you're having all these experiences, but you didn't know before. And maybe it's when the time is right, they show up and or maybe you don't ever have to know, but they're there influencing and helping, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So just so you all know, yes, you are opening up to that multidimensional galactic connection. And many of you might be called to do, whether it's channeling information and sharing it with humanity, whether it's a little more comprehensive, like what Dr. Gail does, which is not a little more comprehensive. It's the whole plethora of everything everyone has a contributing aspect to all of this. Whatever it is, we are called to do this.
Also, is people realizing that all these lifetimes are happening at the same time.
Yes, at the same time.
That you're looking at your future or your past. The reason you associate it with the future or the past is usually how you're dressed. You go, oh, I'm wearing a Native American thing, so that's got to be at this time. Well, no, it's happening at the same time. They showed me like you have two circles going around your head in opposite directions with just different colored balls on it. And those are your lives that are going on all at the same time. Yeah. They showed me I had like 24 or 30 of them all at the same time. Some were small, some were large. The small ones are not as important, but when they overlap, a lot of times that's when you're able to see what's happening.
Absolutely.
So when you go into the Akashic records, let me ask this question. Since lifetime is happening all at the same time and your lives are all happening at the same time, how are you doing that when you're reading the Akashic records?
Well, see, for me, I have the Akashic record masters who go in and go into the records and show me. So it's not like I have to feed through all this energy and weed it out. They actually show me. But, you know, we have access to galactic records. We have access to everything, planetary records, galactic records, all these different things. But you have to be attuned. Your frequency has to be a match and be attuned to that to get that access. So
I assumed that all those were all in the Akashic records, the galactics and everything. It might be a different level that you have to access, but I thought
it's an accessing level that you can't have to have an energetic match to. Just like when you go into the records and you have to be in this particular state of unity, consciousness, and go into the records with pure trust, truth. Well, or you won't be given, you won't be seeing, because you have to match that frequency of infinite, that infinite field.
And it is different frequencies. Like when you're like, I look at it as my lowest level is when I'm connecting with people who've passed, my loved ones. They're the easiest contact.
That's the lowest. And you know, I love how you say that, because when I first took a psychic mediumship class, I was like, man, you know, I have been talking to my guides and angels, the galactic beings, for years now. I can channel anybody through, absolutely pure, clear, no problem. And then I get into psychic mediumship, and it's like I see a little bit of a shadow, and sometimes I hear things. And finally, after having sessions with so many people practicing, they said, Valerie, you're out there multi-dimensionally. You're way up there. Ooh, pull it down, ground yourself down here. And so I go here. And now
right. Yeah. And that's for a lot of you new people. That's basically, it's like the easiest is to contact with your loved ones. They're the easiest level.
They really are. And it's like you don't have to almost go anywhere. You're
right. And then the next level to me are the angels and your masters and your elementals. They're like on this next level. And then the next level is when you're contacting the extraterrestrials and aliens. And to me, and they all feel like a different vibration or a different feeling on which ones that you are contacting. So whenever it comes to a loved one coming around, and a lot of times, because usually I'm just dealing with the Galactus and they're coming around and tapping me on the shoulder, I have to bring it down.
And somebody told me when I took the class, oh, you have to raise your vibration if you can't touch. Well, I've been channeling for years. No, you have to raise your vibration. They don't realize that's way up here. That's like, you know, ninth and I don't know what dimension.
I love doing mediumship because that's
it's way beyond that level of people who've just crossed over.
Right.
So I just thought that was a humorous thing, but I knew it at the time they said that. I said, no, it's the opposite in my mind. I didn't want to disrespect them, but
you had to go out there and ground to bring it all.
I had to ground. Now you know what I do. I anchor myself into Mother Earth and the elemental kingdom. I anchor in to, and now I can do it by that. Really, I know I can only have to go to here. I don't have to go.
Exactly.
And it's funny, I'm talking about like it's a spatial thing, but it's really like a radio dial tuning it, but I'm showing it in height. For some reason that works for me.
No, and I agree, because that's how I look at it too, is because, you know, your mediumship and then your angels and then your extraterrestrials is how
it works for my brain to look at it.
Because it's the difficulty level, I think, because it's so easy to connect in a mediumship to loved ones, and then next it comes the angels and things, and then it comes the extraterrestrials. So you have to go through these levels to get there. And but when you are getting there and you're spending a lot of time with extraterrestrials, and You've got to ground, you got to anchor yourself to earth
You
because
do.
you got to come back down.
You do. And it does take you like space cadet out. You really kind of get out of your body as you're doing kind of some of those communications. And you definitely feel that energy as you're communicating. And one of the other topics was the galactic councils and their current role, how Arcturians, Sirians, and Pleiadians are assisting humanity's ascension now, just exploring that and trying to understand. These are the beings we'll probably have some contact with because they're doing things. Or they're
Right.
so.
Well, first off, I'll just start off with the Arcturians help the Pleiadians go to the next level, to ascend. So it's almost like paying it forward. The Pleiadians are here to do the same to us. They're the main group. They're the main group that are trying to get us to ascend. And they had the Arcturians help them. Now the Arcturians, the Sirians, all these different beings are here also to assist, but it's mainly the Pleiadians.
But also the Lyrians and the Andromedans and Sirians, yeah. And they're saying here, I don't know if this is true or not, but they oversee the harmonics of timelines, as we're jumping timelines, I guess, and the planetary ascensions and the balance of free will across star systems. So it's not just Earth. They're really overseeing all of this. And it says there are some very ancient, for example, the High Syrian Council, the Lyran Council of Light, and the Galactic Federation of Worlds. So that was pretty interesting. But they see Earth as a keystone planet that ripples out on the galactic web. So what happens here is important because it does ripple out into the...
and it's the same as all of them. Like, as I said, when the Arcturians helped the Pleiadians, the Pleiades affected everything else too.
Yes.
So it's affected. So now, you know, it's like, so, and the Arcturians were the main ones to help them. And then now it's the Pleiadians that are here. They're the ones that are at the forefront. Now they have all the others because it does affect them too. But it's almost like it's the Pleiadians' job to get us to ascend to a different level.
Yeah. Oh, that's giving me the chills. Okay. And so they're saying humanity is a unique experience, merging a dense physical experience with the awakening of multidimensional remembrance. And it is true. So many people are awaking to their multidimensional selves. And I'm finding this with a lot of people out there as I do readings for people, that this is happening. And they may not even realize that's what it is. But their awareness, their perspective, their level of where their energy is, they're residing and how they're connecting, it's becoming multidimensional, which it sounds like, oh, multidimensional, yeah, your energy actually connects all the way out like a signal, like a strands and strings, whatever you want to think of it.
Well, also you're having different lifetimes in those different dimensions that are happening all at the same time also.
Exactly. And you're going to become aware of all of that, your galactic counterpart, which is you, in all these different races.
I was just watching a show on Gaia today where they were talking about we have the ability to time travel now. We were able to time travel in the 80s, and that they were able to go to Earth 4,000 years ahead and saw that everybody was living above Earth, and they weren't sure why, because they couldn't understand, even though they were speaking English, they couldn't understand because the speech had changed so much. They couldn't understand why, but they were fascinated with the fact that they were taller than us and they didn't have any hair. Can you imagine one day we all won't have to deal with hair?
I mean, it is true, because if we don't have to deal with hair, then we don't have to worry about washing our hair or all of that silly stuff. That is pretty cool. Rossi's asking, is it true that many of us are easily jumping past 5D to 6th and 7th?
Yes.
I think we already do that, don't we, Dr. Gail?
Yeah, 5D for like the people that are here. 5D is really easy to jump to. We jump
Yeah.
from 3 to 5 all the time.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5. We're jumping back and forth, on a momentarily basis or an hour basis or whatever. So going up to 6th and 7th, it might be a little bit difficult, but yes, we're doing that also.
Yep, I thought so, and thank you for that. And Lois is asking, is there a guide to all of this? I am new, and it's very
Lois, no, I don't have a guide because I just going by my experiences. There's a lot of stuff that's reading, like Val was reading a lot of stuff that she had researched, and she's a good researcher to find out, because I'm not. In fact, in the very beginning, they would not let me read any books. If I got a book, it was blanked out.
Yeah, because you don't want to put some false ideas into your head, or you just want to be fresh, and whatever you experience it.
So mine are experiences, and so a lot of it coincides with the information. Yeah, I was brand new to it too 5 years ago, and then I got slapped. Boom! Here you go. This is what you're doing.
And it's funny you had that experience, and Patricia's saying, I took my brother up to MedBed on Ashtar Med 1, and there were 2 Arcturians waiting for us to assist in healing. Cool. Very cool. I love that. I love those experiences.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just beautiful.
So Lois, don't feel like you're out of it. I would say if you can get Gaia TV or that channel, that would help you a lot.
Yes.
And also you can listen to my channel, which that's what we mostly talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And ask questions.
It is confusing.
Whatever basic question you're asking, everybody else, well, not everybody else, there's probably 10 other people who need the same answer.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. That is very true. And so they're also saying about that galactic work, they're seeding our dreams, meditations, and subtle encounters so humanity can acclimate to interstellar presence, which absolutely makes sense. They've been doing that, I think, for years.
Yeah. As I said, the people have ringing in the ears, and that's exactly what's going on, is you're getting information from them.
And boy, sometimes it just starts ringing for no reason. So I'm sure that's something that's happening. And they're asking, let's see. Yeah, so you're bridges and ambassadors. Yeah, you're definitely a bridge and an ambassador, Dr. Gail. So they're asking us to speak their principles of unity, sovereignty, and harmony into the collective field. That's what they're saying here. And
there's a long list of things. I don't know what they are.
I don't know either. And I think your conversation about not knowing and not reading things is probably, I think, smart. And this is why, and I'm speaking to Lois too, because you don't want to have a preconceived idea. You don't really want to have labels on things. You don't really want to, you just want to know that whatever shows up is going to be for your highest good, and it's going to be what you're meant to be doing. Because sometimes we're going to hear something or see something that isn't going to be the truth, or isn't going to make sense, or, it might box something in. Instead, it's something flexible and global.
I'll give a good example of that, is because we're even, if people are offended if you call them even aliens.
Yes.
Extraterrestrials are a stretch to call them.
Yeah.
Well, they could care less.
They don't care.
I want to say,
they don't have egos.
They have some other words, but they could care less. In fact, on my first spaceship, which was Astar Medical 1, They're
Yeah.
all hybrids, and they wanted to be called hybrids. And the hybrids are the mix of a gray alien or an Arcturian or a Palladian. They're all mixed. And so what they look like I'm human and I am a hybrid and I'm mixed with Arcturian. I look human, so they call me a human hybrid. If you look Palladian, you would be a Palladian hybrid. If you're Arcturian, you're Arcturian hybrid. So I got that education right in the beginning. They are throwing out, I mean, and these are mostly gray hybrids. So I was calling them grays. Well, that's not the appropriate term according to them. And if I had implanted that for sure from my readings, and then when I went to Mount Shasta, when I was working with the Lemurians, of course, they told me they want to be called Lemurians because they're mixed race in there also. Yeah. But they went into, we're not aliens and we're not extraterrestrials. We're inner Earth beings.
And very true. And there are a lot of inner Earth beings.
And then what lives on Earth are on Earth beings. Those are the humans. Yeah. And then the rest are either off Earth beings or those are the extraterrestrials. Yeah. So I've gotten all of this information that is directly from them, and the words, and I use aliens and extraterrestrials. And as I said, so many people are offended by when I say aliens, but I do use the term aliens because that's what people recognize.
Yes, exactly. You're trying to have a conversation with people about something. You have to use the common terminology.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's certainly understandable. And let's see, on the galactic technologies of light, the holographic healing chambers, plasma ships, crystalline grids, looking at that, what can you tell us that you know? Med beds? Yes. Yes. We lay in the chamber and
I see Terry in there. Just go waving to her. Hey, Terry. There's all sorts of different things. And I have to go what I've been exposed to. And there are the med beds. And I tend to think that the med beds came from the Palladians. We do have them on the Astro Medical one, some of them, because it is a hybrid ship. So we have hybrid equipment there. But also how much we use color therapy, sound therapy, and how important chakras are, how we balance the chakras, how we balance your chemistry, your hormones. And all those things are important that we, in the metaphysical world, we're going, okay, we know this is kind of important, but we're thinking more medical, which we're accustomed to. And me, with my background as a nurse and a chiropractor, of course I go medical. But there's all sorts of things. And then they have, the cloning chambers, and also the chambers where they take your body if it's been destroyed, that we rehab it and rebuild it. So there's all sorts of things that goes on with all that. And usually those are used whenever there's like a war. We have these young soldiers who are being demolished or injured, and we fix them up and get them back to work. So there's all sorts of different things going on.
Cool. That's awesome. I love that. They also talk about sound tools, sound and frequency tools, tones and light language and resonant fields that recalibrate human cells, like just sound frequencies.
Well, I forgot to even go into it. I do a whole show once a month with Terry on the Solaris Healing Center, where it's just we're using light therapy and sound therapy is in the background. I don't call it exactly sound therapy. It's more of a vibration therapy,
right?
That is going on. And so, we also have that Solaris Healing Center, but the Solaris Healing Center is generally for your higher beings. That's where you go in and see your power animals and your archangels and angels and things like that are going into that healing center, which I'm allowed to bring it once a month down from the group to get that kind of healing.
They actually are assisting, coming in and helping you during that, and they do it once a month.
I have a lot of
you're the conduit.
I'm only the conduit. Yeah, it's always just coming through me. Medical Michael, which we all laugh about, who's familiar with him. He's my main one, and he is a gray hybrid. He is gray human, and he's helping me now learning. Well, he's now past that. He used to be learning from me about how to work on humans. He now knows how to do it. But there's also that goes on. But as I said, there's so much more emphasis on different things than it is here on Earth, how we manage medically.
Yeah. And that makes me ask this question too. Plasma ships and light craft, conscious ships made of photonic plasma that respond to intention and frequency, make me think of all kinds of things we could have here on Earth that are consciousness that respond to us directly. I mean, beyond AI, really interfacing with our consciousness and our frequency, right, just like they do with the ships, and they are connected. And
well, also people can connect to those things. Like I remember when I was beating, I don't know if you've heard about the egg, the harmonic egg that does color therapy, and it does music and color therapy, and you go in it. But anyway, they're located in all different parts of the U.S. They're not accessible to a lot of people, and I happen to have one in Mount Shasta. But I remember going, oh, I want to do that. I want to go to what? Anyway, I remember my guide saying, you can. Just send your body there. I was going, oh, okay. So the next thing I knew, that night when I was going to sleep, I went up and got into one of those, and it was pretty amazing.
That's cool. That's cool. And that just, what you said is a mouthful, because you really talked about how powerful we are to take ourselves anywhere we need to be, off planet, wherever it is that we need to experience something, or we desire to experience something. We definitely can do that. That is the multi-dimensionality of who we actually are. So I love that. And I just want to say hi to everyone else who've come in since we started talking, and say hi to Terry and Delphi, Lois, Teresa, Patricia. Let's see, I know some of you came in the very beginning. Debbie, 3 Sifting Veils, Edward, hello, and Mary Starshine. Let me see. All of you were talking so much. Oh my goodness, I love your conversations.
Yeah.
I can't get down to the bottom. And Christy Storms, hello. Good to see you. Rossi, Hypnicity. And I think that's down to the bottom. And Rich Lean, hi. That's a new name for me. Hello. And
what about Charlie C. Sage of Fire?
Oh, Charlie C. Sage of Fire? Oh,
cool.
That's good. That's a good name. And JD, Alice L. And let's see, I think we're down to the bottom here. Arlene, good to see you here. And Terry holding your space. Hi, Terry. Okay, so, we can shift gears now, if you want, to people's questions.
Okay.
And
have you been able to star any?
No, actually, I don't think anybody. I don't know if they have any actually yet, but I'm gonna just put it out there right now.
Actually, I saw
done that. What was that, Dr. Dale?
Actually, I saw a lot of questions.
Oh, you did? Okay. I wish you could star for me.
I know. I wish I could too.
Okay, I'm going back up. Bear with me. Dr. Gail, take over. Talk about something interesting. Well, I'm going to be starring.
Okay. Well, one of the big things that we were talking about behind the scenes were the water planets. And we always think about Sirius B as water planet. And then there's also Cetus B, which is CETUS, which I discovered, which is actually a star that is close to the Andromeda line. It's way out there. It's really close. And we can't see it from Earth, and we haven't discovered it yet. But they're also a water planet, which is, the water planets usually have the cetaceans, which include the dolphins and the whales, porpoises, and things like that. And also you have the sharks and octopus. There's all sorts of different things that go into these water planets. Now we have a lot of that here in on Earth in the water. And the first ones that I saw here on Earth were actually, I think it's the jellyfish that I saw first coming out of the water, bringing up the tentacles and flying off, which I was just absolutely amazed at those jellyfish doing that. And then I saw whales flying spaceships, and they were like in an aquarium, and they were actually called the aquanautics. It's the aquanautics, and they are very prominent out there, flying in spaceships. And that was mainly, I saw the whales, but when I went into Earth, I met this kind of frogfish looking thing that was also in the aquanautics. So there's a lot more going on with the water, here on Earth and on other planets too. Val was talking about she had just connected to her Syrian guides here recently, so that's how we kind of started off on the water planets. So Val, got anything?
Okay, I've only got, I only found 7, 8, 9.
Look at the bottom. You've got several right now.
I'm finally making it down to the bottom. So I've got Sue Toppy here, and Anya and Rossi. Okay, I've got everybody. So questions are closed now, and we've got 11 stars, so that's a lot. Okay. Lois Tucker, if ETs want to connect to you, do they work through your guides?
They can. Definitely they can, because that kind of makes it an easy transition. In fact, how I met my very first ET was I was connected with my dad, and he had passed. And I was talking to him. First, he sent me an angel to meet, and then the next was an alien to meet. And it made it very comfortable and safe for me that he was there and that I could meet him. And that's what I do recommend for people who are wanting to try to connect to somebody who you feel safe with, whether it's your guide, somebody who's passed that can be there and can help you navigate through meeting an ET, because a lot of people are scared to death that it's going to be something negative or something that's going to abduct them.
Or it's going to be out of your control, or, the abduction thing is probably the greatest fear. So thank you, Dr. Gail, for that. And Lois, thanks for the question. And Patricia.
Do you have any recommendations on that, Val?
What's that?
I said,
did you have anything to say? I loved what you said. I don't have anything to say on top of that. I like exactly what you said. I think you can do it both ways. Do it the most comfortable way that you want to do it, and have someone there assisting you if you feel uncomfortable without that. But I just go into meditation. But before I start my meditation, I call in Archangel Michael. Right. He's with me all the time. So
also, Lois, go on these channels and listen, because that opens up so much with you when you're hearing somebody else's story. It triggers you to open up to it also. And there's so many gifted people in the chat here that are having experiences that if Val or I can't get to you, they can help you.
Say that again. in a short way.
Show, because whenever I have a show, I have so many questions, and you got 11 questions like almost immediately. So I'm telling her that coming on the shows can trigger her to open up to her experiences. But if she can't get her questions answered by you or me, we have so many talented people in the chat that can help.
We do also, and realize this, that when somebody is getting an answer, that answer can be for many people in the chat already, and you're going to resonate with it. It isn't, the guides come in and give answers, or we're channeling, and it isn't just for the one person. It's actually reaching more people that are in the chat. It happens that way. You're in a group energy, and all of this is happening. So realize that too, that you might hear something, even though it's for another person, it can be for you as well. So Patricia's asking, heard from my mother in spirit today, as it is her birthday. She said, watch for roses and they will bring in messages. That's sweet. That's not a question, but let's see if we can get something from your mom today.
She had another question in there. Patricia, did you have another question there? I thought I saw you had something.
Yes. Any messages from Charlie? New mantis being guides seem to show up behind me during meditation tribe with Terry holding your space.
Oh, Patricia, mantis beings, when they show up for me, that means your life is getting ready to change. And they have a message. There's a big transition. There's new gifts. In fact, it's a mantis being that was the original one that came to me and said, do you want to work with us? And when I said yes. So I'm getting the humongous yes on this, Patricia. I think that's what this mantis being is standing back watching you right now. And he's going to be approaching you and asking you, do you want to do something new? I don't know that he's going to disclose that to maybe he is because he's talking to me now. I think you might be getting ready to go to a different spaceship, Patricia. And I'm getting a yes on that. So you're getting ready to change what you're doing, but you have to agree to it. So I think he'll be approaching you about that soon.
I love that.
What do you have, Val?
Well, Dr. Gail is the expert on all of that. But I'm just going to do your energy activation for this period of time because that will indicate why all of this is happening for you right now.
Try to pull some cards to see if you can get a message from him, if you can get more of a message from him.
I will actually, and thought the light codes are coming through for you about light initiation, great teacher awakening, divine magic. So there you are, star gathering. That was really what's going on. But for your message from Charlie, let me tune into Charlie and see if I can see anything.
I just see him standing back watching her right now.
And I see him, he actually has roses for you.
Oh, really?
Yes, I see that. He's talking about perseverance and making sure you take care of yourself in a way in which you allow yourself to feel all the energies coming in. So don't let yourself get dulled down by being too tired. Also, realize your home is the whole entire planet, not just where you're at. So even if you feel insecure going out places, realize you are safe everywhere and can feel comfortable and content everywhere. So if you have any anxiety about traveling or moving around or leaving your house, they're suggesting, Charlie is suggesting, don't worry about that. You're protected and guided. And don't feel alone.
Yeah, I feel a little bit more for her. And it goes right along with what you're saying. They're going to ask you to move over to the Athena spaceship, which is a much larger spaceship that deals with traumas. And that's like being comfortable moving from her house to another house, which you were saying about.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
So Teresa, they're going to be asking, it's a much larger spaceship, the Athena. You'll be have lots more responsibility. I don't know if you'll actually be in surgery as much as overseeing a lot of other people, what they're doing. So you've got a big job and you're trying to decide if you want to accept that or not. So he's standing back waiting for you to make that decision.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Patricia, for that. And Mary Starshine, Dr. Gail, do Arcturians use scalar energy in their healings? I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Tell me what kind of energy that is, scalar. Is that talking about like the lymph nodes, the scalar energy? Is that dealing with the lymph nodes? Mary, are you here?
I'm going to look it up.
Give us a little help on that.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Patricia.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just going to Google it and see if I can come up with something.
I was hoping Mary was here and she could give us a little help on what that is.
I just Googled it and it says it's mathematics.
Oh. Way off base. Because I was thinking it had something to do with the lymph nodes.
It says a quantity of having only magnitude and not direction.
What? I don't even understand that definition.
A quantity of having only magnitude and not direction.
Oh, so Mary, what is that scalar energy? We don't know what that is. Can you let us know what that gives? A little more help on that.
I'm going to put in.
As I said, for me, they're showing me lymph nodes, and they're showing me up here these lymph nodes. Yes, Val.
Oh, and you know what? I do see scalar energy wave, blah, blah, blah. They're home healing devices.
It is, this is saying it is everything mathematic.
It is mathematic. Oh, okay.
Well,
Because
I don't know anything about that, and I'm surprised because I am a math person. That would be like right up my alley.
Yeah, it says it's a generating field extending 3 feet in all directions. It creates a therapeutic zone, enabling continuous on-demand support anytime, anywhere. A specialized frequency-based solution.
Yeah, Rossi's got a whole list here. If you want to pull her up, 446.
Okay. And there's Rossi. Scalar energy is a concept in quantum physics that refers to a form of energy that is believed to exist in a different dimensional space, unlike conventional electromagnetic energy.
Thanks, Rossi.
Yeah,
I don't know. As I said, I can't.
And she's saying,
my alley.
It's non-linear and non-Hertzian, and is thought to influence physical matter and biological systems.
Well, everybody here knows more than we do about it.
Even I have to say.
Yeah, Edward's saying scalar energy is a unique form of energy theorized by Telsa. So y'all are all smarter than me.
Okay, and so she's asking, maybe you can use your pendulum, Dr. Gail. Do Arcturians use it in their healing?
Oh, I already say yes, because Arcturians are math.
Okay, there you go. And that is true. Okay.
I'm just sitting here in shock.
So the answer is yes.
The answer is definitely yes, but I'm just sitting in shock that I'm not using it. Let me make sure. Let me see if I'm using it. Am I using that scale? No, I'm not. I am shocked. It's coming to pass.
Well, we learned something new today.
I'm going to have to ask them about that.
Thank you, Mary Starshine and Rossi. Christy says, I have a buzzing in the back of my neck and head for the last 2 months.
Oh,
it's not a question, but it's just interesting.
It's a statement, yeah. It's because I said something about the buzzing in the ears.
Yeah, the buzzing in the ears. Why am I so sleepy? Hypnicity is asking. It's the energy.
Yeah, hypnicity. I think that's pretty easy.
The energy is like
hypnicity. I just heard. They just said lay off the sugar. I don't know if you're sugar hypnicity, but I just heard that. Lay off the sugar.
Lay off
a pinch of sugar.
Yeah. And you got the Venetian Council of Galactic Council star beings answer the call. Time to shine. Shine while you're trying to sleep from all the sugar overload.
Well, hypnicity, I want to know first. That's the first thing I got. Is it? Have you gone on a sugar binge? I do that all the time.
Did you?
She's trying to limit her intake.
Oh, so we know that's the truth. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Hypnicity.
Hypnicity. I'm right with you. I'm right with you, though.
Yeah, if you get off the sugar, I mean that's the first thing they said. So if you, I'm not going to say get off the sugar, but be mindful of it and don't overindulge every day. Or
maybe 50 grams a day is like the top limit of what you should actually have. But there's sugar in everything. I mean, even milk.
Right. So, but I would go even hypnicity. I would say try it once a week and just go overload in sugar and see how it affects you. I bet you won't be able to stay awake, and you'll see what it's doing to you. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And Debbie at 3 Shifting Veils is asking, do I have hybrid children? And do I work with any? Yes, you do have hybrid children. I think you have a lot of them. And the next question is, do you work with any of them? No, you don't, but they're showing me they're not old enough. They're not old enough to work yet. And you are active in their lives, is what they're showing me.
Oh,
They only look like they're looks like maybe the oldest might be 10 years old at the oldest,
cool.
but they're not old enough for you to work with them.
That's cool. And, you know, Debbie, I'm having a Gaia Gateway activation for you coming in. And this is about learning experiences, wisdom transmission, and earth intelligence, but also Lemurian seed codes. And this is about embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, and living with grace. So appreciate the uniqueness that you are. And as you are experiencing these kind of things, like your question today, embrace all of that, because obviously we signed up for it. So thank you, Debbie. And Sue Toffee is asking, message from Venusian Galactic Council. So go to navigate current challenges. Please and love to you, Val and Dr. Gail. Venusian Galactic Council.
I haven't met that Venetian Galactic Council. I've met the Venetians that own Federation.
Yeah, they're the Kumaras. They're the like Sanat Kumara, and there's a whole bunch of beings that are part of that.
Galactic. Well, yeah, I've not seen a specific.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I've visited there. I've seen 2 different species on that planet. But and they do sit on the Galactic Federation. They haven't sent a representative. But okay, but go ahead.
They're really coming through with the divine feminine. It's about balancing that masculine feminine within you. And they're asking, they're giving you a throat chakra activation now, specifically to open up that communication, to speak that authentic truth about your power in the world, your power being, you know who you are, your divine energy in this embodiment. That is the connection that they're asking you to use. And that throat is your light codes and information you put out into the world. And it is all about the divine feminine, balancing that within every human. We have it both, masculine and feminine. It isn't a them against us. We're all one. And we have both masculine and feminine to balance. And that's our timing now to do that. And you're one of the ones coming in.
So what is her message for her current challenges?
Her current challenges.
Yeah, that's what she's wanting to hear about. And I don't know.
Well, they're saying realize who you are.
I see her tiptoeing over glass.
Because here's the thing about that. Boundaries, knowing who you are and who you'll give your energy time to, not give your energy away to. So that is part of realizing who you are and what you're here to do.
Okay, so Val, I'm seeing her tiptoeing over glass. So there's some big issues that she's working with or having to deal with right now.
Yeah, it's about
glass. I mean, this is glass that she's tiptoeing over.
It's about you creating your own boundaries for your authentic self to show up. And you are subjugating yourself by not speaking your truth in your authenticity. And you feel like you could fall through the glass if you aren't navigating like the person holding everything together like the glue, not speaking your truth. This is what they're saying. How many ways you look around it, that's what they're trying to tell you about with that walking on glass. It is that feeling that if you were stand still and talk about what you really feel and not take on everyone else's to be the peacekeeper in your family or your greater community, you would have all this burden off of you and you wouldn't feel like you were walking on glass. It's not your job. Pull back from it, create your boundaries, and realize everyone has their soul job and their soul task. Let them take their responsibilities on and you take your own. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, and Sue, I'm just seeing that this is going to be short-lived. You tiptoeing across that glass, and right now I feel like it's something you're going to have to go through and figure out on the other side on how to deal with it if it ever happens in the future. But this is going to be short-lived, Sue. You're going to figure it out.
Okay. Very good. And next we have Anya. In this lifetime, did I come here from another galaxy or planet? I felt like a complete alien my whole life. No idea how to act or what to say. I second that myself. I got here and go, who are these people? I can't trust any of them. What am I doing here?
Anya, you're describing a typical person who did come from another planet who's put here. I mean, you're just like the classic description of, I don't even have to ask that. Did I come from a different galaxy? Because the answer is a definite yes. And but let me see if I can pinpoint where you did come from. And you did come from the Pleiades. So there you go, Anya. So thank you for that question. So the new people can see that question. And that is a typical answer from a starseed or a hybrid or a walk-in, that they just don't feel like they belong here. And like Val's saying, who are these people around me? So I mean, that is a classic sign of somebody.
I can't trust these humans. That's what I said to myself as a little kid. I knew I had to take care of myself. And I had nice parents, but this was my feeling coming in. It was like at 18 months old. I remembered that. So Anya, they're bringing in Gaia Gateway for you to anchor it in. Learning experiences, wisdom transmission, earth intelligence. So it's funny, you're so galactic that they're really trying to ground you in and anchor you in. You've got this earth body now.
Yeah, that's going to be your most difficulty is grounding.
That's it. And the sacred space that you're creating. So you're both. You're connected to everything, but you're grounding into earth. So they're bringing that forward for you. Thanks.
Well, we're at almost an hour now.
It's almost time to, we only have this one last question, and then we're done with the questions and done for today. Is talk about aliens coming on Earth on an asteroid false. That's to scare humans. That's my there's all sorts of things you can read into that, Ross. There's so many things that do scare humans with, but let me see. Aliens coming in on asteroids. They wouldn't come on an asteroid. They come in a spaceship. Yeah. So they're not coming on the asteroid. They don't need an asteroid. No. But anyway, thank you, Dr. Gail. Thank you, everyone, for participating. This has been fun. And thanks, Val, for having me. Yeah, it was my pleasure. So we'll see all of you next time in a month or so, or whenever we do this on Dr. Gail's channel. Yeah. So So thank you, everyone, for your questions and for your participation. It really makes everything fun because you all get so engaged. So I'm going to say goodbye, Dr. Gail. Do you have anything coming up on your channel you want to talk about? Or I will be on Saturday, and I will be answering your questions. It will be all about aliens, answering your questions, and that'll be at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Pacific Time. Perfect. Excellent. Everyone go like and subscribe to Dr. Gail's channel. And Dr. Gail Skywalking with Moon. Yeah, go, leave a comment, like and subscribe, all of that if you don't already. And thank you, everyone. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.